The stars looked different from this part of space. Captain Ju Park stood at the wide window of the Earth exploration vessel Hanbit, her eyes fixed on the massive space station ahead. It hung like a metal spider in the darkness, all sharp angles and blinking lights. This was the home of the Tylorian Council, the rulers of this part of the galaxy. "Captain, they're sending a message," said Doyun, her young communications officer. His hand shook slightly as he worked the controls. Jiwoo nodded. "Put it through." A blue light filled the room, forming the shape of a tall, thin alien. Its skin looked like polished stone, and its 4 eyes blinked in different rhythms. "Earth vessel," it said in a flat voice. "You will dock at Bay 12. You will bring no weapons. You will follow all instructions." The image vanished before Jiwoo could reply. "They don't seem very friendly," said Sunho, her second in command. "Are you sure this meeting is a good idea?" Jiwoo turned to face her crew of 5. They were the best Earth had to offer: brave, smart, and loyal. This mission was too important to trust to anyone else. "Earth needs allies," she said simply. "The Tylorians control the fastest travel routes. They have technology we need. We have resources they want. It makes sense to talk." She didn't mention the other reason. Earth had learned that the Tylorians were talking about humans behind their backs, calling them dangerous and unpredictable. This meeting was a chance to change their minds. The Hanbit slid smoothly into the docking bay. The metal arms of the station grabbed the ship firmly, like a hand catching a ball. "Remember," Jiwoo told her crew as they walked to the airlock, "we are here as friends. Be polite. Be calm. Show them that humans can be trusted." The airlock door opened with a hiss. 12 tall aliens waited for them, holding long staffs that hummed with energy. "These aren't diplomats," Sunho whispered. "These are guards." Before Jiwoo could respond, the lead alien stepped forward. "You will come with us," it said. Jiwoo kept her voice steady. "We are here for the diplomatic meeting as agreed. I am Captain Jiwoo Park of Earth." The alien's 4 eyes narrowed. "There is no meeting. You are being detained for questioning." "On what grounds?" Jiwoo asked, still calm. "Human aggression. Your species is a threat. The Council has decided you must be studied before any agreements can be made." Sunho moved slightly, his hand dropping to where his weapon would be if they had brought any. The aliens noticed. In one quick motion, they raised their staffs. "No," Jiwoo shouted, but it was too late. Bright blue energy shot from the staffs. Doyun fell first, his body jerking as the energy hit him. Then Mina and Taeyong dropped to the floor. Sunho managed to dodge the first blast, but the second caught him in the chest. Jiwoo stood perfectly still as her crew died around her. Her heart pounded in her chest, but her face showed nothing. She had been a soldier before becoming a captain. She knew that showing fear would only make things worse. The alien seemed confused by her lack of reaction. The leader stepped closer, its staff pointed at her heart. "Your crew responded with aggression," it said. "This proves what we already knew about humans." Jiwoo looked at the bodies of her friends, then back at the alien. She did not cry. She did not shout. She did not beg. "Take me to your council," she said. The alien made a sound that might have been surprise. "You will be taken to a cell. The council does not speak directly to primitives." They put metal cuffs on her wrists. The cuffs were too tight, cutting into her skin. Jiwoo knew this was on purpose, the first small test of many to come. As they led her away from her ship and her dead crew, one of the aliens asked, "Are you not afraid, human?" Jiwoo looked at it with steady eyes. "No," she said, and for just a moment, she smiled. The aliens glanced at each other. For the first time, they looked uncertain. They did not know it yet, but that small smile was the beginning of their end. Jiwoo's cell was small and cold. The walls were smooth metal with no seams. There was a hard shelf for sleeping and nothing else. No windows, no clock, No way to know how much time had passed since they had killed her crew. The door slid open with a soft hiss. A man walked in. A human man. Ju sat up straight. She had not expected to see another human here. "Hello, Captain Park," the man said. "My name is Hunky Lee. I will be your interrogator." Hunky was tall and thin. His face showed no emotion. He wore the same type of uniform as the aliens, but it did not fit him well. "You're human," Ju said. Hunky nodded. "I was. Now I serve the Silurian Council." "How?" Ju asked. "Why?" "They broke me," Hunky said simply. He sat down across from her. "And they will break you too. It will be easier if you don't fight it." Ju studied his face. His eyes looked empty. "I don't believe you," she said. A small flicker of something, pain, maybe, crossed Hunky's face. Then it was gone. "Tell me about Earth's defenses," he said. "No," Ju replied. Hunky sighed. "There are cameras watching us. They expect me to hurt you now." He leaned forward. "I suggest you scream when I touch your arm." Ju didn't move as Hunky placed a hand on her arm. She didn't scream. "They will use machines next," Hunky whispered. "Pain devices. They are very good at causing pain." "I'm not afraid of pain," Ju said. Hunky stood up. "You should be." He walked to the door, then turned back. "The aliens study us. They think humans are dangerous. Every time you resist, you prove them right." After he left, 4 aliens came in. They wore white coats and carried metal devices. They did not speak to Ju. They strapped her to the bed and attached the devices to her head and chest. Pain shot through her body. It felt like fire in her veins. Ju's back arched, but she did not scream. One alien adjusted a dial. The pain doubled. "Tell us about Earth's weapons," the alien said. Ju bit her lip until she tasted blood. She would not speak. The alien turned the dial again. "Human bodies are weak. You cannot withstand this. Tell us what we want to know." The pain was now so bad that Ju could not see clearly. Her heart hammered in her chest. But still, she did not speak. After what felt like hours, they stopped. Ju lay gasping on the bed. "Interesting," one alien said to another. "The pain readings are very high. She should be begging by now." "Humans are stubborn," the other replied. "But they break eventually." They left her alone. Ju closed her eyes, trying to steady her breathing. She thought of Earth, of the blue oceans and green forests. She thought of her family. She would not betray them. The door opened again. It was Hunky. "You surprised them," he said quietly. "Most subjects beg for mercy by now." "Is that what you did?" Ju asked. Hunky looked away. "Yes. After 3 sessions, I told them everything I knew." "I won't," Ju said. "You don't understand. They have ways to make you feel pain you can't imagine. No one can resist forever." Ju managed to sit up despite her shaking muscles. "Why are you telling me this? Are you trying to scare me?" "I'm trying to save you," Hunky whispered. "If you cooperate now, they might keep you alive as I am." "As a traitor?" Ju asked. Hunky flinched. "As a survivor." Ju looked at him steadily. Then, despite the pain still flowing through her body, she smiled. Hunky stepped back, his eyes wide. "Why are you smiling?" "Because now I know something important," Ju said. "What?" "They're afraid of us. And you." She looked into his eyes. "You haven't really broken at all, have you?" For just a second, something flickered in Hunky's empty eyes. Something like hope. 3 days had passed since Juwoo's first torture session. At least, she thought it was 3 days. In her cell, time was hard to track. The door opened. A tall alien with dark blue skin entered. Unlike the others, this one had 6 eyes, all focused on Juwoo. "I am the Overseer," it said. "You are a problem. Human." Juwu sat quietly on her bed. Her body still hurt from the last session, but she kept her face calm. My scientists are confused, the overseer continued. Their machines say you feel pain, yet you do not break. This is unusual. Maybe your machines are wrong, Juwu said. The overseer made a clicking sound. The machines are perfect. It is you who are wrong. Creatures break under pain. This is a fact. Not humans, Juwu said. Not always. From the wall behind her bed came a soft tapping. Juwu had heard it before. Her neighbor in the next cell trying to communicate. The overseer noticed. Ah, you have met Dural. Another stubborn one. But even he broke eventually. The tapping stopped. Today we will try something new, the overseer said. Something special for humans. 2 scientists entered with a new machine. It was smaller than the others, but glowed with a strange red light. This touches the pain center in human brains directly. The overseer explained. No species has withstood it for more than 1 hour. They strapped Juwu to the bed again and attached the machine to her head. The red light pulsed faster. Pain exploded in Juwu's mind. This was different from before. This felt like her thoughts themselves were on fire. She bit down hard, tasting blood again. She would not scream. Interesting, said one scientist, checking readings. Her pain levels are beyond our charts. Yet her resistance continues. Increase power, the overseer ordered. The red light flashed brighter. Juwu's body jerked against the straps. Still, she did not scream. Instead, she focused on a memory. Her grandmother teaching her an old Korean saying. After suffering comes happiness. The words became a shield in her mind. Tears ran down Juwu's face, and then, through the tears, she smiled. The scientist stepped back. Even the overseer seemed disturbed. Impossible, it said. Check the machine. The machine works perfectly, a scientist replied. She feels the pain. She simply accepts it. The overseer leaned close to Juwu's face. What are you, human? Why do you smile? Through gritted teeth, Juwu whispered, because pain ends, but what you fear about us will not. The overseer straightened quickly. Enough for today. We need to study these results. They removed the machine and left Juwu alone, shaking and weak, but unbroken. After some time, the tapping from the next cell returned. Juwu tapped back. Over months in space, she had learned simple tap code. Are you okay? The taps asked. Yes. Juwu tapped back. How? The red machine broke me in 1 hour. I think of good things. Juwu replied through the wall. I think of home. There was a long pause. Then, I have forgotten home. Juwu heard pain in those simple taps. Despite her own suffering, she felt sorry for her neighbor. Tell me about your home, she tapped. I will help you remember. For the next hour, Doral tapped stories about his world, a planet with 3 moons and silver trees. As he tapped, his rhythm grew stronger. Remembering seemed to give him strength. Later, when Hyunki came to check on her, he found Juwu sitting up, looking better than she should after the red machine. How? He asked in genuine surprise. I helped my neighbor remember his home, Juwu said simply. Hyunki shook his head. You were tortured today, yet you spent your energy helping another prisoner. Yes. Why? Juwu looked at him steadily. Because that's what humans do. We endure. But more importantly, we help others endure too. For the first time, Hyunki's empty expression fully cracked. There was definitely something there, a spark of the human he used to be. A week had passed since the red machine. Juwu's torture sessions continued daily, but she never broke. The scientists were growing frustrated. One day, a new face appeared in Juwu's cell. A young female with features that looked almost human, except for her pale blue skin and slightly larger eyes. I am Inji Kim, she said, setting down a tray of food. I bring your meal today. Juwu looked at her closely. Your name is Korean. You look almost human. Yoonji glanced nervously at the camera in the corner of the cell. My ancestors were taken from Earth long ago. The Xylorians changed us to serve them better. This was new information. Ju sat up straighter despite her pain. How many of you are there? Many. We work throughout the station. Some of us were born here. Some were taken. Yoonji busied herself arranging the food, but her movements seemed designed to block the camera's view. I am not supposed to talk to you. Then why are you? Ju asked. Yoonji lowered her voice. Because you smile. No one smiles here. Ju took a small bite of the bland food. Why did you come today? The robots usually bring food. I asked to see you. I'm a research assistant. I've been watching your tests. Yoonji hesitated. You've withstood pain that would kill most species. How? Ju thought carefully before answering. This felt important. Humans have known pain throughout our history, she said quietly. We've faced wars, disasters, cruelty. But we always rebuild. We always hope. That's our strength. Yoonji's eyes widened. The Hylorians say humans are dangerous because you're violent. We can be, Ju admitted. But our real strength is in how we endure, how we help each other endure. Yoonji glanced at the door, then quickly pulled something small from her pocket. A recording device. She hid it under Ju's pillow. Tell me more about Earth, she whispered. About humans. I want to remember where I came from. For the next 20 minutes, Ju told Yoonji about Earth, about forests and oceans, about human art and music, about how people had fought against oppression throughout history and always, eventually, won their freedom. Yoonji listened with wonder on her face. The Xylorians never tell us these things. They say Earth is primitive and violent. All people can be violent, Ju said. The difference is we recognize it as a weakness, not a strength. Our greatness comes from compassion, from helping each other. The cell door suddenly opened. 2 guards stood there. Your time is up, one said to Yoonji. The overseer wants the human prepared for tomorrow's test. Yoonji nodded and quickly gathered the food tray. As she stood, she whispered, I'll come again. After she left, Ju lay back on her bed. For the first time since her capture, she felt a spark of hope. There were humans here, changed humans, but humans nonetheless. And they were listening. That night, in another part of the station, Yoonji played Ju's recording for 5 other blue-skinned humans. She smiles through the worst pain, Yoonji told them. And she speaks of freedom. It's dangerous to listen to her, one man said. If the Tylorians find out. They won't, Yoonji insisted. And you need to hear her stories. About our real home. A woman with silver hair spoke up. I've seen her test results. No one has ever withstood the red machine for 3 sessions. The overseer is afraid of her. Good, Yoonji said. Fear is a start. Tomorrow I'll record more of her stories. Why risk so much for stories? A young man asked. Yoonji's eyes shone with an unfamiliar emotion. Hope. Because, she said, if what she says is true, we aren't meant to be slaves. We come from a world of people who fight oppression, who endure, who smile even in pain. She held up the small recording device. These aren't just stories. They're a spark, and a spark can start a fire. The others looked uncertain, but they leaned closer to hear Ju's voice from the recording. The voice of a human who would not break. 2 weeks had passed since Yoonji's first visit. Ju had endured 6 more torture sessions. Her body was weak, but her mind stayed strong. The cell door opened. Ju expected Yoonji or the scientists. Instead, Hyunki entered alone. He checked the camera in the corner, then pulled something from his pocket and placed it on the wall. A small device that blinked once, then turned green. We can talk freely for 3 minutes, Hyunki said, his voice different now. Stronger. The camera sees only a normal checkup. Ju sat up slowly. You're not really working for them, are you? Hanky shook his head. I pretended to break. It was the only way to survive and learn their secrets. He sat beside her. I've been watching you. Everyone has. What do you mean, everyone? There are over 2,000 modified humans on this station. Hyunki explained quickly. Most were born here. Some were taken, like me. For generations, we've served the Tylorians. We had no choice. But now, Ju asked, now we have you. Hyunki's eyes were alive with purpose. Yunji has been sharing your recordings, your stories about Earth, about human resistance. They're spreading through the station like fire. Jumu felt a surge of hope. The blue-skinned workers. They're all human. Modified human, Hyunki corrected. The Tylorians changed our ancestors to better serve them. Blue skin, enhanced lungs for their air, stronger muscles for labor. But they couldn't change what makes us human inside. How many know about me? Hundreds now. Maybe more. Hyunki glanced at his device. Your torture sessions are monitored by all the science teams. They can't understand why you don't break. And the way you smile. He shook his head in wonder. It scares them. Juwoo thought about this. Good. Fear can be useful. The Isolorians have noticed changes, Hyunki continued. The human workers are becoming less obedient. Small acts of resistance. Whispers. They know something is happening. The green light on Hyunki's device began to blink. Time's almost up, he said. Listen carefully. The overseer has called for a public demonstration. They're going to make an example of you. Juwoo felt cold. When? Tomorrow. They'll broadcast it to the entire station. They hope to show everyone what happens to those who resist. Hyunki stood up. They want to break you in front of everyone. And if they can't? Juwoo asked. A small smile touched Hyunki's lips. Then everyone will see that the mighty Xylorians aren't so mighty after all. As he turned to leave, Juwoo called after him. Hyunki, how were you captured? I was on a deep space mission. Like you. They killed my crew and took me for study. His eyes grew dark with memory. That was 5 years ago. I'm sorry, Juwoo said. Hyunki nodded. Be ready for tomorrow. It will be worse than anything you've faced yet. He removed the device from the wall. But know that you're not alone anymore. We're with you, all of us. After he left, Juwoo lay back on her bed. For the first time, she felt afraid. Not of the pain to come. She knew pain well by now. She was afraid of failing all those who were watching her, hoping. From the next cell, Doral tapped on the wall. I heard, he tapped. Are you afraid? Yes, Juwoo tapped back honestly. Good, came the reply. Fear makes us careful, but don't let it make you weak. Are you one of them? Juwoo asked. A modified human. No, Doral tapped. I am from the Nevar system. My people refused to join the Silorian Council. I was captured as punishment. Why are you helping me? Juwoo asked. There was a long pause before Doral's answer came. Because you helped me remember my home. And because. The tapping hesitated. Because when you smile through pain, I remember how to be brave. In that moment, Juwoo understood something important. It wasn't just humans who needed hope. It was everyone under the Tylorians' control. That night, as Juwoo tried to rest before tomorrow's challenge, the whispers of her story continued to spread through the station, from human to human and beyond. The day of the public demonstration arrived. 4 guards came to Juwoo's cell early. They did not speak as they placed heavy restraints on her wrists and ankles. Where are you taking me? Juwoo asked, but they ignored her. They led her through long corridors. Juwoo noticed blue-skinned workers watching as she passed. Their eyes followed her with something new in them. Hope, perhaps, or fear. Maybe both. Finally, they reached a large circular room. In the center stood a metal platform with restraints. Around it were seats filled with Xylorians in formal clothes. The council members. The overseer stood nearby, speaking to a group of scientists. When it saw Juwu, it approached. "Today is important," it said. "Today, the entire station will see what happens to those who resist." Juwu looked around the room. On the walls were large screens. "You're broadcasting this?" "Yes. To every screen on the station. To every ship in our fleet." The Overseer's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. A lesson for all. Juwu was led to the platform and secured tightly. She could not move her head, arms, or legs. Above her hung a new machine, larger than any she had seen before. It glowed with pulsing red and blue lights. "This," the Overseer announced loudly to the room, "is our most advanced pain device. It attacks not just the body, but the mind. No being has ever withstood it for more than 5 minutes." The screens on the walls flickered to life. Juwu could see faces watching. Tylorians, modified humans, and other alien species. Somewhere among them would be Yunji, Hyunki, and the others who had begun to hope. "Begin," the Overseer commanded. The machine hummed to life. At first, Juwu felt nothing. Then it hit her, pain beyond anything she had experienced. It felt like her skin was being peeled away, like her bones were cracking, like her mind was being torn apart. She could not stop herself. She screamed. The Overseer moved closer. "Tell us about Earth's defenses, and the pain will stop." Juwu bit down on her lip, trying to regain control. Blood flowed down her chin. She thought of her grandmother, of the old saying, "After suffering comes happiness." She thought of Earth, of home. "No," she gasped. The Overseer nodded to a scientist, who turned a dial. The pain doubled. Juwu's back arched against the restraints. Her vision blurred. She could hear her own heartbeat, too fast, too loud. "Your body cannot take much more," the Overseer said. "Your heart will fail. Is Earth worth dying for?" Through the fog of pain, Juwu saw the screens on the walls, hundreds of faces watching her, waiting. "Yes," she whispered. The scientist turned the dial again. This was it, the breaking point. Juwu could feel her consciousness slipping away. The pain was too much. No human could endure this. But then she thought of Hyunki, who had pretended to break for 5 years. Of Yunji, who risked everything to record her stories. Of Doral, who learned to be brave again. They were all watching, all depending on her. With her last strength, Juwu turned her head toward the nearest camera. Blood ran from her nose and mouth. Her body shook with pain. And she smiled. It was a terrible, beautiful smile. The smile of someone who knows something their torturers don't. "Humans don't break," she said, her voice surprisingly clear. "We bend, adapt, and come back stronger." The room fell silent. On the screens, Juwu could see the shock on every face. "Increase to maximum," the Overseer ordered, its voice no longer calm. But before the scientist could turn the dial, something happened. The blue-skinned worker standing near a control panel hit a button. The machine's lights flickered and died. Chaos erupted. Council members rose from their seats. Guards moved forward. The Overseer shouted orders. And still, Juwu smiled. On the screens, she could see blue-skinned workers looking at each other. Some were smiling too, small, careful smiles, but real. The spark had caught fire. Alarms screamed throughout the station. In the demonstration room, chaos ruled. Guards rushed to grab the blue-skinned worker who had stopped the pain machine, but 3 more workers blocked their path. "Get the human back to her cell," the Overseer shouted. "Lock down the station." 2 guards unlocked Juwu from the platform. She was too weak to stand, so they dragged her toward the door. Her body hurt everywhere, but her mind was clear. Something had begun, and she knew it couldn't be stopped now. In the corridor, the guards moved quickly. But as they turned a corner, they found their path blocked by Hyunki and 5 blue-skinned workers. "Let her go," Hyunki said calmly. The guards raised their weapons. "Move or die," one ordered. Hyunki didn't move. "There are 2,000 of us." How many of you are there? The guards hesitated. Then from behind, Ju heard running footsteps. More guards were coming. They would be surrounded. Suddenly, all the lights went out. In the darkness, someone grabbed Ju. She felt herself being lifted by strong arms. "It's me," Yoonji's voice whispered. "Stay quiet." When emergency lights came on seconds later, the guards found themselves alone in the corridor. Ju was gone. Ju woke in a small room filled with machines. Yoonji sat beside her, putting medicine on her wounds. "Where am I?" Ju asked. "Maintenance level," Yoonji replied. "The Oxylorians rarely come here. It's where we've been planning." "Planning what?" Hyunki stepped forward from the shadows. "Revolution." Ju tried to sit up, wincing with pain. "How long was I unconscious?" 6 hours, Hyunki said. "A lot has happened. Your demonstration changed everything. When you smiled at the camera and spoke those words, it was like a dam breaking." Yoonji nodded eagerly. "Workers across the station are refusing orders. Some younger Xylorians are helping us too. They saw what happened to you and questioned their leaders." "What about the guards?" Ju asked. "They're trying to regain control, but we know this station better than they do," Hyunki explained. "We've disabled key systems and locked down sections where our people are strongest." The door opened and Doral entered, looking thin but determined. Ju smiled at the sight of her neighbor. "They released all prisoners during the confusion," Doral explained. "Many are helping your cause." Ju looked around at their faces. "How can you fight the Oxylorians?" "They have weapons, ships. We have numbers," Hyunki said. "And we have knowledge. For generations, we fixed their machines, prepared their food, maintained their ships. We know every weakness. And we have this," Yoonji added, pointing to a screen showing workers building barricades. "Hope. Because of you." Ju shook her head. "I just refuse to break." "Which showed everyone else they don't have to break either," Doral said. Hyunki helped Ju stand. Though weak, she could walk. He led her to a large room where dozens of people worked at control panels. "Our command center," he explained. "From here, we're coordinating everything." On screens around the room, Ju saw images from across the station. Blue-skinned workers blocking corridors, guards surrounded. Some Xylorians talking with rebels, seemingly trying to negotiate. "The council is in emergency session," a woman reported. "They've lost control of 60% of the station." "What about their ships?" Hyunki asked. "Docked vessels are secured," another worker said. Crew members joined us when they saw the broadcast. Ju stared at the screens in amazement. All this happened because of one demonstration. "No," Yoonji said gently. "This happened because for weeks, we've been sharing your stories. Your words gave us courage. Your smile showed us that the Tylorians aren't all-powerful." Hyunki nodded. "We've been waiting for this moment for generations. We just needed a spark." He looked at Ju. "You were that spark." A loud explosion shook the room. Alarms blared again. "They're trying to reach the central control room," someone shouted. Hyunki turned to Ju. "This is just the beginning. The fighting will get worse before it's over. Are you strong enough to help us?" Despite her pain, Ju stood straighter. "What do you need me to do?" "Speak," Yoonji said simply. "Let them hear the voice that smiled through torture. Let the galaxy know that humans have returned." 3 days had passed since the uprising began. The rebels now controlled most of the station. The fighting had been hard, but the modified humans' knowledge of the station's systems gave them an advantage. Ju sat in what had once been the overseer's office. She was still weak, but growing stronger each day. Hyunki and Yoonji stood nearby, looking at data on a large screen. "We've secured the communication center," Hyunki reported. "And the main computer core." Yoonji nodded excitedly. "This gives us access to all Xylorian records, their entire database." Ju looked up. "What have you found?" "Everything," Yoonji said. Their secrets, their plans, why they fear humans so much. She touched the screen, bringing up an old document. The text was in the Silurian language, but images showed Earth. This goes back over 300 years, Hyunki explained. The Silurians have been watching Earth since humans first went to space. Why? Ju asked. Hyunji brought up more files. They have prediction systems, advanced computers that can see possible futures. These systems showed them something that terrified them. The screen changed to show a series of charts and graphs. These are growth projections, Hyunki said, for different species across the galaxy. Most follow a steady pattern. But humans, he pointed to one line that shot up sharply. Humans grow faster, adapt quicker, and spread further than any species they've ever seen. Ju studied the charts. So they fear us because we might expand too quickly. More than that, Hyunji said, her voice dropping. Their predictions showed that within 200 years of joining the galactic community, humans would become the dominant species, not through war, but through adaptation and innovation. The Silurians couldn't accept this, Hyunki continued. They've ruled for thousands of years. The idea of a newcomer species rising so quickly was unthinkable. Ju understood now. So they've been holding Earth back, keeping us isolated. Yes, Hyunji confirmed. And more. Look at this. New files appeared on the screen. Records of human abductions dating back centuries. They've been taking humans for 300 years, Hyunki said grimly. Studying us, modifying us, using us as workers while ensuring Earth doesn't advance too quickly. Ju felt cold anger rising in her chest. How many? Thousands, Hyunji replied. Taken from ships, remote locations, anywhere they could grab humans without being noticed. And there's more, Hyunki added. They've interfered with Earth directly. Sabotaged certain technologies, created conflicts to slow our progress. The implications were staggering. Ju stood up despite her pain. We need to tell Earth, she said firmly. They need to know what's been happening. Hyunji looked worried. The Silurians have blocked all communication with Earth for centuries. Even with control of the communication center, reaching Earth won't be easy. Doral entered the room, followed by several other alien prisoners who had joined the rebellion. Perhaps I can help, he said. My people have technology that can boost signals across great distances. Hyunki nodded thoughtfully. And we need to tell more than just Earth. The entire galaxy should know what the Silurians have done. They should see these files. Ju agreed. The abductions, the interference. Every species needs to know the truth. It will cause chaos in the galactic community, Doral warned. The Silurian Council has ruled for millennia. Let there be chaos then, Ju said, her voice strong. Truth is worth it. For the next several hours, they worked to prepare a message. They gathered the most important files, proof of the Silurians' actions and their fear of human potential. Hyunji and the technical team prepared the communication systems. Doral's people provided the signal boosters. When everything was ready, they all looked to Ju. You should be the one to speak, Hyunki said. Your face, your voice. They know you as the human who smiled during torture. Ju nodded and stepped in front of the camera. She was no longer a prisoner in pain. She stood tall, her eyes clear and determined. Ready? Hyunji asked, her finger hovering over the broadcast button. Ju thought of her dead crew, of Earth, unknowingly held back for centuries, of the thousands of humans taken and modified. She smiled, not the pained smile of torture, but the confident smile of truth about to be revealed. Ready, she said. 1 month had passed since the broadcast. Ju stood at a large window in what was once the council chamber, looking out at the stars. The station was different now. The dark corridors were brighter. The air felt cleaner. People walked with straight backs and raised heads. Hyunji entered the room, her blue skin glowing in the starlight. Earth has responded to our message, she said, her voice trembling with excitement. "They're sending ships. Official representatives." Juwu turned from the window. "How long until they arrive?" 2 weeks. They've been developing faster engines in secret. They didn't trust the Xylorians either. Yunji smiled. "Seems humans on Earth were more aware than we thought." Hyunki joined them, followed by Doral and several former council members who had sided with the rebellion. "The news is spreading across the galaxy," Hyunki reported. 3 more Xylorian stations have seen uprisings. Not just humans, other species too, all demanding freedom. "And the Xylorian homeworld?" Juwu asked. "Civil war," Doral said simply. "The younger Dylorians are fighting the old council. They want change." Juwu nodded. The broadcast had worked better than they had hoped. The galaxy had been shocked by the evidence of the Xylorian centuries of manipulation. The images of Juwu's torture, combined with the secret files, had turned many against the council. "What about the other modified humans on distant stations?" Juwu asked. "They're coming home," Yunji said. "To the station, then to Earth. Many haven't seen their home planet in generations, but they want to return." A tall Tylorian stepped forward. He was younger than most council members had been, his eyes showing respect rather than the old arrogance. "Captain Park," he said formally. "The remaining Tylorians on this station wish to speak with you about the future, about peace." Juwu looked at him steadily. After all the pain, all the death, it would be easy to seek revenge. But that was not the human way. Not the best human way, at least. "We will talk," she agreed. "We need peace more than vengeance." Later, in a small meeting room, Juwu sat with representatives from all species on the station. They spoke of a new order, one without the Xylorian Council's iron rule. One where all species, including humans, would have a voice. "Earth will join the galactic community as equals," Juwu insisted, "not as servants, not as threats, but as partners." The Tylorian representative nodded. "And those of us who oppose the Council's methods." "You will help build the new system," Juwu said. "We need all voices, even those who once were enemies." That evening, Juwu returned to her quarters, no longer a cell, but a comfortable room with a window to the stars. On her desk sat a communication device. Earth had been sending messages daily since contact was established. She activated the device. The face of Earth's leader appeared. "Captain Park," he said warmly, "you've changed the course of human history. When our ships arrive, we want you to lead the first official Earth delegation." Juwu shook her head. "I'm not a diplomat, sir. I'm a captain without a ship." The leader smiled. "You've shown the galaxy what humanity truly is. There's no better diplomat than that." After the call ended, Juwu stood by her window, thinking of all that had happened. Her crew, who died in those first moments. The torture that followed. The smile that became a symbol. A knock at her door interrupted her thoughts. Yunji entered, carrying a small box. "We found this in the Overseer's private collection," she said, opening the box. Inside was a patch from Juwu's uniform, the Earth flag that had been torn away when she was captured. Juwu took it carefully, running her fingers over the familiar design. "We should make a new flag," Yunji suggested, "for the station, for all of us who are between worlds now." "What would it show?" Juwu asked. Yunji smiled, her blue skin crinkling around her eyes in a very human way. "A smile," she said, "the smile that changed everything." As the stars wheeled slowly outside her window, Juwu thought about the strange path that had brought her here, the pain that had led to freedom, the torture that had awakened hope. She had smiled during the worst pain imaginable, and that smile had started a fire that now burned across the galaxy. She had shown the Tylorians, shown everyone, the true strength of humanity. Not violence, not conquest, but endurance, compassion, the ability to suffer and still remain human, the power to face darkness and still choose light. Juwu looked out at the stars. the same stars that shone on Earth, and she smiled again. This time, the whole galaxy smiled back. Asterisk, asterisk. The end, asterisk, asterisk.